Hi, it's Laura at Aquamarine18 Tarot and Books. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. Welcome or welcome back. I am here with a book tag that looked like fun when I saw it. That is the Rapid Fire book tag. I first came across this tag via Candy over at the Great Literary Rabbit Hole. Candy also has a tarot channel. I will link her VR in the description box below. I'm not sure where this tag started. If I find that out, I will also link accordingly. But for now, I will link back to Candy since that's how I heard about the tag. The tag has 25 prompts in it. And I'm not going to make promises about being particularly rapid in the rapid fire book tag. I am going to make some slight effort to not take an hour, but I don't imagine I'm going to be rapid fire because and if you've been on my channel before, you know that rapid fire is not the pace that I move at. So, I also think some of these questions are more interesting if you elaborate a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I have given the list of questions a quick skim. A few of them required kind of finding particular titles, so I've done that little bit of forethought and prep, but not too much. I do have the questions here in front of me. So without further ado, the rapid fire book tag at Aquamarine18 speed. Prompt number 1, ebooks or physical books? I would say for the most part, ebooks for most fiction, physical books for nonfiction, as well as for fiction that I know that I will want to have and keep on my shelf. Ebook note-taking is just not there for me. And a lot of the time when I'm reading nonfiction, I'm taking some kind of notes or underlining things, and so physical book for that. Question number 2, paperback or hardback? I prefer a paperback. Question number 3, online or in-store book shopping? Both. Absolutely both. And I have a wonderful local bookstore that's pretty near to my house where I go to a book club at times and that I really enjoy browsing. They also have a good website, so both. Question number 4, trilogies or series? I would have thought that a trilogy was a type of series. I would say in response to this question that it is rare for me to read a series that is longer than a trilogy. I read a fair amount of trilogies, as well as duologies, as well as standalone. There's not that many series that I can think of that I have read far into or finished that are longer than that. Question number 5, heroes or villains? I like characters who are straightforwardly neither. That would be my preference. I like complicated. Question number 6, a book you want everyone to read. I don't know that there is a single book that I want every person to read. People enjoy different things. That's very hard. I like trying to recommend books for people that I think that they will like, but that's often a quite personal, individually specific kind of a process to me. Question number 7, recommend an underrated book. So I always struggle with the concept of underrated, but based strictly on Goodreads star ratings as a barometer of underrated, I would say that Tochi Onyebuchi's novel Goliath is excellent and should be rated significantly higher on Goodreads than it is. I checked and it has 3.29 stars. I disagree. I think that this book is absolutely excellent, and I think that you should go and look at a synopsis of this book. Do look at the content warnings somewhere like Storygraph that includes that information. And if it looks like a book, that you're interested in reading, absolutely pick it up. I really think this is very, very, very good and very much worth reading and underrated on Goodreads. The next question is number 8, the last book you finished. The last book that I finished was, I believe, The Half-God of Rainfall by Inua Elams, and this is a book that I read in one sitting. It is written in poetic style, so this was also excellent. That wasn't asked in the question, but see, when you do rapid fire, you miss the extra information. This was also excellent. I sobbed when I read this one. Read the content warnings. This is also excellent. Next question. Question number 9, the last book that you bought. I last bought, I last bought 2 books. My most recent fiction and my most recent nonfiction, which are the 2 most recent books that I've purchased. I actually just picked up the second one today, but I ordered them ahead of time and the store got them in for me. The most recent fiction that I bought is the classic The Gilda Stories by Jewel Gomez, which I will be reading as I participate in Blackoween this month. And the most recent nonfiction that I purchased, that I just picked up today, is Staying with the Troublemaking Kin in the Cthulhu Scene by Donna J. Haraway, who I have read before pretty extensively, but I haven't read this particular book. So I'm looking forward to that. Her work came up in the context of a reading group. We didn't read her work, but she was referenced in something that we read, and that reminded me of this book, and so I bought that. Question number 10 is the weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. I don't know that I use too weird of things as a bookmark. I have a little pile of bookmarks. I mostly do just use bookmarks, and things that I would say don't qualify as weird, like Post-its or receipts. I will confess to having, on occasion, on my coffee table, pulled using a book as a bookmark. For some reason I don't approve of it, but I'm going to admit that it has happened. Question number 11 is used books, yes or no? Yes, of course. I love a borrow from a friend or a passing along, a book to a friend. I also will donate my books to a local, I think it's quarterly, book sale that's a fundraiser for our local public library, and I like going to that book sale as well. Yes, to used books. Question number 12, top 3 favorite genres. Science fiction, fantasy, and the combination thereof. New weird. This is the kind of area of fiction that I like to read in. I'm treading into horror a little bit. I would not say it's a favorite genre, but I'm getting to know what I like. Those are my top 3 favorite fiction genres. I'm just inserting that qualification there. Question number 13, borrow or buy. Right now, I buy more than I borrow, for sure. I fell out of library habit when, 2020 happened and things were closed. I also used to have access to a university library system, which I no longer have access to because I changed careers. So I did go through kind of a shift where I wasn't in libraries nearly as much. And the result is that at this point, I buy more books than I borrow. This is also because I really like reading ebooks, and I have yet to find a mechanism for borrowing ebooks that I can do on my e-reader, which has the nice e-ink screen, as opposed to on something like a phone or a laptop, which I don't want to read on. So, buy. Question number 14, character or plot? Both. Both are important and both matter. If theoretically, I guess, a book was to have only one of these 2 things, which would I pick? I suppose I would pick excellent character development with not much happening over lots of things happening, but no sense of who the characters are. But really, I want both, for sure. Question number 15, long or short books, both and everything in between. I love a good novella. I love a novel. I enjoy longer novels. I also like collections of short stories. So everything lengthwise I like. Question number 16 is long or short chapters. I would say that this really depends on the book. If I had to just pick one or the other, I would say probably on the medium to shorter side, because if I'm reading in the evening, reading before bed, things like that, it is nice to be able to read to the end of the chapter and then put the book down until next time. And shorter chapters make that easier. But I think it depends. Question number 17, name the first 3 books you think of. Not looking at the ones I've already shown. The 3 books that I'm currently reading are Tarot for the Hard Work by Maria Minnis, Hellenistic Astrology, The Study of Fate and Fortune by Chris Brennan, and Out There Screaming, the horror collection edited by Jordan Peele. Those are the 3 books that I have on the go right now. Question number 18, books that made you laugh or cry. I am not someone who cries while reading very much. I did, as I mentioned, when I read this one, The Half God of Rainfall, which I think is very impactfully written. It's a play. It's poetic. It also deals with very heavy themes around particularly gender-based violence, and so that one I absolutely cried during. I made a lot of exclamations aloud, I will say, of various kinds when I read The Trees by Percival Everett. This was a very impactful book that I felt very strongly about as I was reading. And so there was a lot of exclamations. I didn't cry. There were some laughs. The subject matter is not funny, but there's definitely some laughs. And there's a lot of like, what the fuck moments in that one as well. I found that one led me to be vocal about my experience as it was happening. Question number 19, our world or fictional worlds? I do read mostly science fiction and fantasy, so one would expect that I would say fictional worlds. I do, though, read a fair amount of, for example, science fiction that has a lot of commonalities with the current world or particular moments in history and things like that. And I think that in a fictional work, set in our world, it is still a fictionalized version of that if it is a fiction work. So, fictional worlds with some caveats. Question number 20, audiobooks, yes or no? No. Question number 21, do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yes, absolutely. I feel like browsing NetGalley. I love browsing NetGalley and finding new authors and finding, books that I didn't know were coming out and, expressing my interest and hopefully getting a copy of an ARC. But there are some ridiculous book covers. There are some ridiculous book covers. And also I think an incredible book cover can be a really, really, really special thing. And artists who create amazing book covers do amazing work. Yes, I judge a book by its cover. Question number 22, book to movie or book to TV adaptations. I would not say that I'm a big adaptations person at all in general, but I watch more TV, so I'll just say books to TV for that reason. I like the television because it's more hours. I feel like you can just do more with it, right? operating on the assumption of kind of a film is around 2 hours or, a bit more, a bit less. But a film, if you get a season, you get more than that. So there's more room for more character development, for including more aspects of the book. So I would say television adaptations for that reason. The last television adaptation of a book that I watched was Shogun, and I thought that it was excellent. I have not read the book, and I probably won't, but I thought the show was excellent. Question number 23, a movie or TV adaptation you loved more than the book. I don't know that I can even think of one. I tend to not take in the same narrative through multiple forms. If I've watched a television show or film that is based on a book and I've really enjoyed it, I don't tend to want to then go out and read that book. I tend to be happy with the experience that I had with the television show or film. And if I read a book and a film is made, I may or may not see it, but really I'm not a big movie watcher, so the chances are that I won't. I'm really not sure. I will say some adaptations that I really liked, other than Shogun, which I already mentioned. We did watch Shadow and Bone, the television Shadow and Bone. I have zero interest in ever reading the books that this is derived from. Whether that means the television is better than the book is another kind of question that I can't possibly answer, but I have zero interest in reading those books. I also really liked The Expanse a lot, and my partner read all of the Expanse books after we had finished watching and enjoying the series and really liked the books. I have no interest in redoing The Expanse, but in book form. I know the books go way further, there's more material there, but there's so many books and so many stories in the world that I don't tend to gravitate towards adaptations too much. I really liked the film The Girl with All the Gifts, which is, I think, an M.R. Carey book as well. I haven't read the book. I've read other books by him and I've liked them. That one, maybe I will read the book. We'll see. So that doesn't answer the question at all, but, so it goes. Question number 24, series or standalones? Both. I like both. And I would say that I like both equally well and read probably an equal amount of each. Question number 25 is to tag others. If you are interested in answering the rapid fire book tag, please do consider yourself tagged if that will make you more likely to participate. Consider yourself not tagged if you are not interested. I can't believe that I managed less than 1 minute per prompt. Look at me go. This is rapid fire for me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Have a good day. Bye.